What's going on, Pika fans? It's your boy, Mango Can Tango, that is, back with another video. Today, we will be doing a tier list of the electric abilities in the game. Before we get on into it, if y'all want to drop a sub and a like and maybe a few comments, it'll mean a lot to me. Again, subscribing is completely free. You'll just get updates when I upload next. But let's get right into this video. Alrighty, so to start, we are going to be starting with our wing cards. So the first wing card we have is the Electric Grass, also known as Volt Switch. It does 120 damage, 30 shield, and it has a ability here where it says you're going to transfer all debuffs on this Pikaster to a target. So that's the target that's attacking them. So when you transfer all the debuffs, not saying it's going to have debuffs, but any debuff it has, like maybe Curse, or slowness and speed, or maybe an attack, like lessen on an attack or something like that, it's going to be transferred to the Pikaster that's attacking them. So I think that this card actually has a lot of utility and can be very good. And 120 damage is pretty solid too. So I would definitely put this one in the A. Might have to put it in S, but for right now, definitely an A tier card. I think it's a very good card. Moving on to Overload, or Aura Wheel. Does 125 damage, 25 shield, is a damage card, and increases 10% damage of all friendly lightning cards for 2 rounds, if chained with another 2 same cards. Now, if you're running a build where you're using a lot of electric cards, electric abilities, great. It will definitely increase the damage of each of them, but really, that's really the only time where it's going to be very utilized well. So if you're running like 2 electric types in your team, I think that this card definitely has some really good use of it. I don't think it's a bad card. I don't think it's like an extremely good card. I'd probably put it like the top of B, maybe. Maybe A, but I'd really put it probably the top of B. It is a very good card. Does good damage, has good shield. And definitely, I don't think, like I said, not bad. Not bad at all. Moving on to Bone Wings. Bolt Strike. Does 120 damage, 30 shield. Apply calm to target for 2 rounds. Now, I'm not really sure what calm means, but I'm assuming it has to do with something with anger. Maybe they cannot gain anger for 2 rounds. Calm meaning like when they cast their abilities that they're not able to gain anger while doing that. So I think it could be good. Again, just like kind of like a very simple card. Decent damage, decent shield. Not bad. So I'm going to put this probably in B. I wouldn't say it's A, but definitely like a B type card. Moving on to Thundercloud or Thundershock. The last wing card, it does 110 damage, 30 shield. You gain 1 anger if this Pikaster attacks before the target. Now your electric types. Now this is good because your electric types are typically the faster Pikasters in the game. Your water and your electric types are the faster ones. So water types might be faster than it, some other electric types, but typically this is you're trying to get the highest speed on this Pikaster just so that it will attack first and do more damage. So I think that this gaining 1 anger is very good. It does decent damage and has decent shield. So again, I don't really know if it's an A tier kind of I don't know. It could probably be A, maybe low A, high B, but we'll just put it in low A for right now, because gaining anger is a good thing. We want to hit those critical strikes to do more damage. All right, let's move on to the sword cards. So first of all, starting off with Birdhead Staff, 20 damage, 0 shield, targeting the fastest enemy. Now the only thing I could see that this is that you're going to skip the tank, and you're going to go right to the backliners, and you can knock those out, and you don't have to worry about those. But again, it does take up a card slot. It is 1 energy to cast, and it only does 20 damage and has 0 shield. So I'm not seeing how Birdhead Staff or Plasma Fists is a good card in any way. I mean, it's taking up a card slot, and it just really doesn't do much for you. I think there's a lot of other cards out there that are a lot better. So that's definitely a D tier card. Just don't use it, in my opinion. If you might have it, you think it would be good, you have some utility, great. Just challenge me and tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead and throw it down in the comments. All right, let's move on to Umbrella. Target a fire enemy if the Pikaster's HP is below 50%. So, I mean, electric types attacking a fire type. I mean, I guess so. Actually, I think that they do more damage to it, so maybe I can do extra damage because I think the same kind of classes do the same damage. So, for example, like fire and fighting are together, like electric water are together, and like bug and grass are together. So, I mean, water does more damage against fire, so maybe electric does more damage against fire. I think that's how that works. So, actually, that's not actually a bad card, so it would attack a fire-type enemy. But it does have to be below 50%. But I don't think this is a bad card at all. It does 120 damage, 30 shield. A lot better than the other sword cards, as you can see visually with damage and shield-wise. So I'm going to put this one in B. Definitely like maybe mid-B, something like that. That looks good. Alright, moving on to the next card. Strawberry Fork. Target a reserve enemy if this Pikaster is a reserve. So you're going to be targeting reserve. And again, this would be in a card that you would probably put on a reserve Pokemon. I mean, if you really want to kill a reserve, I guess you could use this card. But again, 80 damage is not that hot, and 0 shield, also not that hot. A little bit better than Birdhead Staff, so I'd probably put this one in C. Maybe even in D, depending on when we're done with the list. But I don't think that Strawberry Fork is very good. I think it's a card that you should also avoid. Just don't get it. Moving on to Hammer, or Eerie Impulse. Does 100 damage, 30 shield, gain 1 anger for every 20% HP loss of this Pikaster. Now, if you're playing this at the very end of the life cycle of this Pikaster, it's very low. It's below 50%, even 60%. You're going to be gaining 3 anger. Now, that's huge because that means you're going to be able to hit a critical hit very, very soon. And even if it's very close to dead, you can almost have an entire anger bar go right back up. So I think that this card is very good. It does good damage, has decent shield. And again, you want to try to stack that anger up because especially if you're trying to run a build where it has high wits, it's going to be doing a lot more damage. So I think that Hammer actually is probably going to be in your S tier. I like the card a lot. It has decent utility, and I think it can be used very well. So that's why I believe Hammer is going to be in your S tier. All right, let's... oh, that's the wrong thing. Oops. Let's keep going down here. So Antlers, going to the Antler cards. The first one you got here is Octopus, or Magnetic Flux. Disable cards targets cap cards next round, which I'm assuming the cap cards are actually these. Cap cards meaning like, you know, like a little baseball cap, the thing that they wear. So I'm assuming the Antler kind of cards that they cannot use next round. Again, you guys know how I feel about disabling cards. Disabling cards are very good because it means that they cannot use that kind of card next round. No matter how many cards they have in their hand, they're not able to use them. So that means if they only had those Antler cards, that means they cannot play at all. So I think that this card is very good. Octopus would definitely be in the S tier, in my opinion. So I'm going to have to put it up there. It doesn't have shield, which kind of stinks, but it does a lot of damage. 130 is a really good damage card. So, but again, the utility for this is disabling something of your opponents. So I think that's why I would be an S tier, in my opinion. Moving on to Strawberry, or Shockwave. Does 110 damage, 50 shield, deal 120% damage if changed with another of the same card. So that means if you have at least 2 Pureness, or actually if you at least have 2 electric type cards in your abilities to play, this is going to do 120% damage, and 50 shield's pretty good, especially for Antlers. Has a lot of shield, and it does decent damage, and you're doing 120%. All you have to do is play another electric card with it. I think it's very good. I'd actually probably put Strawberry in S tier as well. If not high A, we'll probably reassess that, but definitely high A, maybe S. I think it's a very good card, and I think it has some utility that you can actually use. Moving on to Electromagnetic Transmitter, or Quick Attack. 120 damage, 20 shield. It only costs 1. Increases 20% damage if strikes the enemy with empty anger. Now again, there's a similar one like this actually in the fire category that I just did yesterday. If you guys missed the fire abilities video, it's going to be linked in the description. Make sure to go watch. But again, I don't think that this one is terribly going to be using that much utility, because again, you have to make sure that this has 0 anger for it to get its extra buff. And 120 damage, 20 shield is great, but again, not the greatest card. So I'm gonna have to put this in B, low B probably, maybe even in C. But I mean, looking at the other C cards, we'll just leave it in B for right now. And moving on to Tin Food, or Electric Terrain. 110 damage, 30 shield, increase 20% damage to the target as a reserve. So you have to wait for a reserve to actually use the extra utility on this. Again, Electromagnetic Transmitter and Tin Food are very similar cards. They're not that great, and I'd probably put Tin Food into C because I just think Electromagnetic Transmitter has a little bit more use to it, I don't know. It also does a little bit more damage. I mean, minus the shield, but they're very similar cards here, these two, and I just don't really think they're that good, either of them. So I would stay away from these two. I'd focus on these two because they're significantly better. One's an S, one's an A, and honestly, the other one might even be an S, but we'll figure that out in a second. All right, moving on to the last few cards here. Your tail cards. All right, so we have High Volt coming in at 110 damage, 20 shield. Deal 120% damage if this Pikaster attacks first. Again, very good card. Has some decent utility to it because your electric type Pokemon or your water type Pikasters are definitely going to be your faster ones that you're using. So you're going to be able to pull off this extra 120%. So I believe that this High Volt would have to be an A, probably end of A, because I think there's other ones that are in here that are better. But I think it's an A type build, and I think it's very good. So low voltage electricity would be next. Also magnet rise is not something else that it's called. 120 damage, 20 shield. You're applying attack to the Pikaster if the Pikaster reserve. So how attack boosts work, I don't know what the percentage is going to be, but again, you're giving a buff to yourself, so that's good. So you're buffing yourself, and all you have to do is put it on a reserve Pikaster. And again, those reserve Pikasters are the ones that are going to be subbed in. So you put this on a reserve Pikaster, you're going to be getting an extra attack boost. Again, I don't know how much extra damage that is, but it's going to just buff you in general for all your other cards too. So I'm going to have to say that low voltage electricity is going to be an S tier because again, you're getting that extra buff, and it's going to be very good, and you can use it to do more damage to the other Pikasters that you're trying to defeat. Yeah. All right, moving on to Star or Zap Cannon. Now, this is the highest dealing damage card in the game, but it comes with a price, and I don't really like the price, and I think this is going to be one of the ones that people kind of disagree with me with. So I can only see Star being used very well in one case scenario, and that's like when you really need to kill a Pikaster quick and fast. The reason is because this has this nasty debuff with this card. It's kind of like the ones in Pokemon that remind me that do the more damage, but also they negatively affect you. That will decrease your attack after you cast it. So it does 150 damage, no shield, but you're giving yourself -2 attack. So now next time when you go to cast something, next turn, whatever it is, so like let's say this 140, now 140 might do 100. I don't really know what the percentage and what it's going to be, but again, it's going to do less damage next turn. So I don't really like it just for that reason solely, and I don't know, it's just not my favorite card. So I would probably put Star or Zap Cannon in C. I know that a lot of people probably would think this is a B card, even an A or S, but like I said, I do not like it just because it's going to negatively affect my next turn. It does a lot of damage, don't get me wrong. 150 is the highest damage card in the game, but it's also debuffing you. So at the same time, it's not good. I don't know. It probably could be bottom of B, but I'm going to leave it in C. So last and final card, Firefox. 140 damage. Remove all anger from this Pikaster itself. Now, this would be good only if you had no anger, I think. If you have higher anger, you have in the 3 and 4, almost in the 5, and you use this card, I think it's kind of useless because I don't know, it's just not my favorite card to throw out there. Again, 140 damage is great, does a lot of damage, but it comes with a price. You're taking all the anger off of it. Now, if you had some other card where like it buffs you when you remove anger, that's fine, but again, that's very, very situational, and you'd have to have that kind of moveset. So Firefox is good, it does a lot of damage. I think it's a little bit better than probably Zap Cannon or Star. But again, I'd probably actually put this in C as well. Looking at the rest of the other cards, again, it doesn't give you any shields, so that kind of stinks. It does a lot of damage though, 140, don't get me wrong. But again, some of these other cards that have 110, 120 damage, you're getting in this 20% increase boost. You're going to be up in that 135, 140 range anyway. So, I just don't think it kind of comes with a nasty debuff just like Star does. So I'm going to have to probably put this in C as well. It's not a bad card, it's not a great card, let's just say that. So I think that's going to have to wrap it up there for the rest of the cards there, but we can zoom in here and we'll do a little chit-chat, go over a little overview of what we just talked about. So we have Hammer, Octopus, and low volt electricity, I think, and S tier. Those are the 3 cards I believe are the best ones in the electric type category. And then you got some ones in A here. Shockwave, Volt Switch, Thunder Shock, Bolt Beat, Bolt, what does that say? Bolt Beak? I think that's Bolt Beak. Sorry, I can't see what the actual, because it's blocked off. But again, you can take a screenshot of this. You can figure this out yourself. And again, we're just going over kind of what it is anyway. Then we got some B's. We got Aura Wheel, Electro Web, Bolt Strike, and Quick Attack. And then for your C's, you got Thunder Fang, Electric Terrain, Zap Cannon, and Rising Voltage. And then last but not least, please do not use Bird Head Staff. It's a bad card. Just don't use it. There's just so many other better cards out there that you can use. And that's finally in D tier. But again, let me know in the comments if you agree with me, disagree with me, especially maybe about these two. I think those are definitely going to be some confrontational, but let's chat about it. I would love your input. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you appreciated the video. Again, thank you for coming out and checking me out, and please feel free to subscribe. Again, it's completely free. Leave a like, a comment, and again, we'll chat and whatnot. But thanks for coming. Hope you're enjoying them. I should be uploading one soon, and the next one's probably going to be either bug or fighting. I haven't decided which one, but I will be doing the remaining two very soon. Thanks for watching, and peace.